Did you know that nearly half of Africa's population is under the age of 18? This is a story about them, the children of Africa, not just as victims, but as agents of change, builders of empires, and voices of resistance. Their experiences, often overlooked, are woven into the very fabric of the continent's history. Let's unfold this story, page by page. Before the arrival of Europeans, African childhood was deeply integrated into community life. From the Iron Age to the 20th century, children were active participants in the world around them. Boys, alongside their older brothers, learned essential skills like hut building, metal forging, and hunting. Girls worked with their sisters, fetching water, crafting pots, and cultivating crops. Obedience was highly valued, especially in polygynous families, a stark contrast to the corset lives of European elites. Some pre-colonial states even conscripted children for national duties. But this communal harmony was shattered by the arrival of the slave trades. The Arab slave trade, spanning from the 7th to the 20th centuries, enslaved an estimated 18 million Africans across the Sahara and the Indian Ocean. Then came the Atlantic slave trade, from the 15th to the 19th centuries, which forcibly transported between 7 and 12 million Africans to the New World. Children were particularly vulnerable, torn from their families and thrust into unimaginable horrors. The domestic sphere was also affected. For millennia, girls were enslaved, girls separated from their kin. After the Atlantic trade, younger brothers filled the roles left by kidnapped males. The slave trades left deep scars, disrupting families and fueling long-term demographic and social fractures. Then came colonialism. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European powers carved up Africa, disregarding existing ethnic boundaries. This arbitrary division led to countless crises, and children were often forced into labor to meet the demands of the colonial economy. Adolescents were forced into jobs like house servants on commercial farms to meet tax quotas. The Soweto Uprising of June 16, 1976, stands as a stark reminder of the struggles faced by African children under apartheid. In Soweto, South Africa, black schoolchildren took to the streets to protest the imposition of Afrikaans as the language of instruction in schools. The apartheid regime responded with brutal force, resulting in the deaths of over 170 students and injuries to more than 1,000. The government initially reported only 2 deaths, a blatant attempt to conceal the true extent of the violence. The Soweto Uprising became a turning point in the anti-apartheid movement, galvanizing international support and inspiring a new generation of activists. In the years that followed, African children continued to face immense challenges, including the scourge of child soldiery. Conflicts across the continent have seen children recruited and forced to fight, often subjected to horrific violence and abuse. In addition to being child soldiers, children face economic exploitation. In 2006, there were an estimated 15 million child laborers under the age of 14 in Nigeria, mostly working in agriculture. In Kenya, a 2001 study found that around 3 million children were visibly engaged in child labor, working in agriculture, mining, and tourism. The invisible numbers were likely much higher. Some scholars argue that historical rural child work was vocational training, a universal practice before the 1950s, not exploitation. Modern ILO definitions can label such practices as abusive, while ignoring cultural context. In response to these challenges, the Organization of African Unity, now the African Union, established the Day of the African Child in 1991. Commemorated annually on June 16, the Day of the African Child serves as a reminder of the Soweto Uprising and a call to action to protect and promote the rights of children across the continent. This day prompted the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child in 1990, which was ratified by 50 states. Despite progress in some areas, African children continue to face significant challenges in the 21st century. The continent's child population is projected to reach 1 billion by 2055, placing immense strain on resources. Child mortality rates remain high, with pneumonia, malaria, and diarrhea accounting for a significant percentage of under-5 deaths. Millions of children are still out of school, and child labor remains widespread, particularly in agriculture and mining. Other grave violations include over 55,000 documented cases against African children between 2014 and 2018. HIV continues to affect millions of children under the age of 15. Yet, amidst these challenges, there is hope. Access to improved water sources has doubled since 1990, and under-5 mortality rates have been cut in half. The African Union continues to foster cooperation among member states to improve child welfare. The annual Day of the African Child provides a platform for advocacy and awareness raising, focusing on issues such as education, digital access, and the right to participation. The story of African children is far from over. It is a story of resilience, struggle, and hope. By understanding their past, we can work towards a better future, where every African child has the opportunity to thrive and reach their full potential. Let's continue to listen to their stories, amplify their voices, and work together to build a brighter tomorrow for the children of Africa.